I've been seeing a lot of articles and a lot of videos out recently talking about the iPhone SE, and specifically talking about how the feature set that comes with the iPhone SE isn't good enough, it's not on par with some of the other features of some of the other iPhones, or maybe even with other Android phones. I've also seen a lot of creators talking about how you should not buy the iPhone SE. And guys, the iPhone SE is not for you, and that's totally fine. Let me tell you why. As soon as I saw the iPhone SE was available, I pre-ordered one for my wife. My mom is getting one. I even considered getting one. Not only do I think that it's a really fantastic phone, especially for the price, I think that right now was the perfect time for Apple to release this phone. As you all know, right now we're dealing with an unprecedented global pandemic that's happening in the world right now, so releasing a new product, especially when most of your retail stores are closed, seems really challenging and difficult, and maybe seems like a bad idea. The reason why I think this is the perfect time for Apple to release this phone is that it's a little bit boring. You pretty much know everything about the iPhone SE. Like I said, my mom pre-ordered one of these phones. She has an iPhone 6S. It's basically the same body. My wife has an iPhone 7. Pretty much the same phone for her. There's a really large user base of iPhones that like this particular style of body. They're maybe nervous about using Face ID versus Touch ID. Some people are just change averse and don't want to have a new phone. So the iPhone SE, you already know the body, you know the shape. Some of your old cases might even still fit this phone. Now is not the time for Apple to release a product that is entirely new. The iPhone SE is like comfort food. You know what the cameras are like. You know that the processor has been out for a while and has proven to be stable and fast. You know the battery life on this is going to be good. You know the screen and the display are the same that you had on the iPhone 8. This phone is a really known quantity, and honestly, if they would have had a keynote around it, it'd be a pretty boring keynote of watching Phil Schiller try to tell us how a one-camera system is really good. But in all reality, for the buyers of this phone, that one-camera system is fantastic. If you're coming from an iPhone 6S or an iPhone 7, it's a huge leap to go into software-based portrait mode. If you're coming from one of those older devices, you never had wireless charging. Now you do. I know in a lot of states right now, in a lot of parts of the country, it's being recommended that people wear face masks. I've got news for you. Face ID and a face mask sucks. This phone has Touch ID. It's so easy for you to use Apple Pay at a store where you're trying to avoid contact. To just be able to double tap on that home button and make a payment is phenomenal. You know all the features of this phone, and you knew right away if this phone was good for you or for someone that you know. That's why it's the perfect time for Apple to release this phone. They don't have to sell you on it. If you need a phone, if you've been holding out for a better phone, and you saw this thing launch at $399, what are you waiting for? Buy the iPhone SE. It's a phenomenal value. So if you're in the camp of iPhone users that doesn't upgrade their phone every year or every 2 years, obviously the iPhone SE is a no-brainer. But if you're someone who does like to have the latest and greatest, you're still not entirely left out of the cold. Maybe you have something going wrong with your phone. Maybe your battery is not working properly. Maybe you cracked your screen. Maybe somehow your phone got destroyed and you're not wanting to buy an iPhone 11 Pro because you're kind of waiting for the iPhone 12 to come out. This phone's a perfect bridge phone. It's not like you can go into an Apple store right now in most parts of the country and be able to get a screen replacement. Getting a screen replaced right now would be a nightmare. Plus, it's already going to cost you a couple $100s. Why not buy an iPhone SE? Bridge the gap. Have a phone that you can use for right now that, again, has Touch ID. Buy the iPhone SE, wait out for a couple months until the iPhone 12 drops, and then give that iPhone SE to someone that you love. And I know in the tech community, and I know if you're watching this particular video, you probably are someone that gears more towards the newest, the latest, the greatest. So maybe this doesn't really apply to you per se, but again, the iPhone SE is probably not for you. It's for the vast majority of iPhone users. That doesn't mean that this isn't one of the most exciting phones that I've seen Apple release in a really long time. Smartphone growth in 2020 is kind of a race to the bottom. And right now, Apple is offering an iPhone that's $400 that pretty much has no downsides. It's not missing any major features. And if there's something that's really lacking or missing from that phone's feature set, then this isn't the iPhone for you. They have something else available for you to purchase. This iPhone is perfect for the vast majority of iPhone users, and it's only $400. So if you think the iPhone SE is not flashy enough or has enough features, or it's mainly built for grandmas, it's time you get off your high horse. Apple's gonna sell a ton of iPhone SEs in the middle of a global pandemic because one untapped area of iPhone growth has been at the bottom. Thanks for watching.